Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Red Queen Tarot. Today we're going to do November readings. So I'll take a random token from my bag here and see which sign we should start with. Aquarius. Alright, welcome Aquarius. Thank you for tuning in. Could be your sun, moon, or rising sign, or there could be a love message in here if you have a Venus in Aquarius. I already picked your deck out. This is the Phantasmagoric Theater Tarot, and I picked this before I even knew which sign I was reading for, so I'll be eager to see what this deck has for Aquarius. And it's a very Aquarian deck. It's very unique. You're ruled by Uranus. Oh, you do have a little note of astrology here. We have that full moon lunar eclipse happening November 8th at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you are an Aquarius rising, we have, because it's going to be conjunct your ruling planet, Uranus. So the moon, this is Vedic astrology, by the way, or sidereal astrology. We have Uranus at 22 degrees of Aries, conjunct the moon. And across from that, we have the sun will be at 22 degrees Libra. I'll do a separate reading for the full moon lunar eclipse and the new moon on the 23rd. So if you are an Aquarius rising, or Aquarius is in your first house, this lunar eclipse will be happening in your third house, because this would be your first, second, third house there. And that is going to govern our immediate family, communication, siblings, the mind, thinking, social activities and interests, neighbors, early education. But yeah, so that's the house of ruled by Mercury. So, and lunar eclipses, they're just full moons that are superpowered. So it's usually, we hear the phrase eclipsing something out of your life. Could be releasing something surrounding the third house, or transforming that area of your life. You know, you might be getting new technology in your home or your personal life. Might have to start commuting more or less. And there might be a change in relationship with a sibling or within your immediate neighborhood. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. We'll get back to the cards here. All right, so we have 3. I'm going to pull one more. Underneath the deck, we have the 6 of Swords. All right, so this is air energy. Moving on, the worst is behind you. It's like if there was upheaval or a change recently in your life, we did have the solar eclipse at the end of October, happening in the sign of Libra in sidereal astrology. But again, this is another air sign, so it's trining you. Whatever placements you have in Aquarius would be making a harmonious trine to the solar eclipse. So it might be some kind of transition that you're working on, and depending on what house Libra is for you. Again, if you're an Aquarius rising, it would be your 9th house of long distance travel, higher learning, philosophy. So there could have been some transition that you initiated in that house during the solar eclipse, October 25th in Libra. And this has allowed your decision to move forward or move on. Now we're going to see how it plays out for you in November. Okay, I'm just going to have to leave that there for lack of space. So first card we have is the Emperor. All right, so I mentioned some of you moving on from something. The Emperor could be a boss, an oppressive kind of system that you were a part of. Some of you might be leaving that system in order to establish your own system, becoming your own boss. This is the King of Kings, somebody who is just the divine masculine. It's the mastery of masculine energy. So let's see what it is that you are controlling. You become the creator of your own reality. You're the architect. He's got a whole globe here. You know, he's the master of his world. And next to that, we have the Hanged Man. So that is also going to be Piscean 12th house energy. It's ruled by number 12 there. But this has to do with the subconscious. So this could be, again, some form of enlightenment that was gained from this position of saying compromise, that it wasn't, you may have felt stuck or trapped in one area, but the Six of Swords is indicating a movement forward. There's a way out of this trap, the way out of this puzzle, or whatever was keeping you confined. Something was keeping you small. Maybe this Emperor, this oppressive masculine energy, whether it was a boss or a partner. But there's some freedom that's being gained. You are again ruled by Uranus, and that's breaking free. So after this November 8th eclipse, there's maybe a release and a breaking free of this structure, this contract, something that was keeping you in place, because Uranus is involved. And the full moons always bring light to a situation where there was darkness. And so this again, it could be the 12th house I mentioned, that's hidden enemies as well. Somebody could coming out, you thought they were your friend. They thought that they had your back, that they were supporting you, but they didn't have your best interest, and that's something that's coming to light and you're having to come to grips with, because you probably looked up to and admired this person, looked to them for shelter or guidance or provisions. But now it's like you're being put in a position where you are going to be providing those things for yourself. And it is kind of scary. We have to have a tremendous amount of faith when we let go. I mean, while the hangman position isn't comfortable, it's still secure. It's still keeping you afloat, so to speak. But when we get rid of those structures, that's where our fears can take over. Some fears can come to the surface that we didn't know we had, or that we might have been ignoring for a while. Okay, let's see how we're going to get through this. We have the Eight of Wands. All right. Mercury in Sagittarius, a fast-moving message. So it seems like some kind of news, information. Again, I mentioned this third house is where the lunar eclipse takes place. And that's rapid movement too, the Ace of Wands. Communication coming to you quickly, or ushering you out of a situation. I mean, it feels like it wasn't a safe place for you, wherever it was, but it's like your guides are getting you on track. They're getting you on this kind of, it's almost like a helicopter that drops down a rescue basket to somebody stranded in the ocean or on the side of a mountain. It's like there's some kind of rescue operation, something. Your guides are ushering you out of this painful situation. What they say, rejection is protection. So if you were maybe squeezed out of somewhere that was comfortable, it's just that stage of your life is over. The lesson is learned. It's time to move on. So where are you moving on to? We get that from the Six of Swords and now the Eight of Wands, the movement, the Three of Swords. Okay, yeah, it's painful to give up security, what was comfortable. And that's what it feels, sudden, like a rug was pulled out from under you. The Emperor pulled the rug out from under you. And that's going to cause some pain. It's legitimate, whatever that experience will be, or you've just been through recently. But again, let nothing go to waste. No, there's a lesson to be learned here too. The Emperor is also a teacher. Saturn, those structures, those contracts are our teachers. They show us parts of ourselves that we didn't know were still injured or needed healing, and for that we have to be thankful, because it reveals where we need to put our energy next. And some of you, that has to do with yourself. Okay. I'm just going to get some clarifiers here about this message we're receiving from the Emperor. The swift change that's about to occur. Okay, underneath that, great. There's some stability in the situation, the Three of Crystals. There's some kind of structure or form taking place. It's a work in progress. All right. The first card for clarification we have is the Seven of Flames. Seven of Wands, that's Mars and Leo energy. So it might be having to defend your actions or your convictions, your beliefs. This might have been your decision to leave, and not everybody is approving of that, but you have your reasons, and you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. It's but it's you're looking out for you. And a lot of people, they may not understand that, or they might call you selfish, or but this is really a survival tactic to protect yourself and get away from anything that might have been threatening you or your energy. Like they're almost like they're coming to her for energy, and she's putting up these boundaries and kind of rising above the situation. She's like on a ridge above them, leveling up to where it's safe. She no longer resonates with these energies down here, so she's on to the next level. And that's a place where that can't be reached by the people down here. Again, maybe not everybody will understand or approve, but it's for your best interest. Next to that, we have the Two of Flames, more fire energy. So this is making a decision, though, left or right. It could also be casting your intention out, having a vision of where your next path will lead you. But maybe that's it. You just have a couple different options now, what you can do. So after that, we have the Master of Flames, King of Wands. Okay, there's a lot of Sagittarius energy I'm getting in here. And there's a new moon in Sagittarius on November 23rd in the tropical astrology system. So that might be around the time frame that we're seeing these transitions come for you. But it's like there's a new mentor, this King of Wands, regardless of gender. It's somebody who is inspiring, a creative leader, someone who can help you alchemize this situation and make the best out of what you have, making the lemonade out of the lemons. And finally, we have Three of Orbs, Three of Swords again. Okay. So there is a sun peeking through the clouds here. That to me, of course, is telling me that the storm is temporary. It's transient. With the lightning bolt here, it reminds me of the Tower card. Some kind of, like I said, it might have been shocking, sudden news that something is changing for you. There's a new direction that you're kind of going to be forced to go on, I want to say. But again, it seems to be leading more towards self-sufficiency. And the Three of Crystals here, like I did mention a mentor in the King of Wands showing up rather quickly to kind of help you pick up the pieces. With, I'm thinking of fire in a smelting pot where different metals are melted and to create an ore or a compound. And that's what he's doing. He's helping you pick up these pieces and melting them together and creating a new metal. There's alchemy. There's something that the world hasn't seen yet that you are forming in a crucible of fire. The whole trial by fire thing. I mean, it forged in fire. Things are just what begins with a spark or a shock turns into a slow burning ember that is going to perpetuate you. It's kind of like it almost like shocked your heart, like it broke apart a seal or a blockage that was over your solar plexus. But all this fire, I did mention Sagittarius for a teacher, but also just the Leo energy, the creativity, the passion, the drive rules that solar plexus chakra. And it's like for a lot of you, whatever you were doing in your day-to-day life was blocking your purpose, and taking the energy and focus away from that. So whatever this event was, it kind of, I feel like I get the image of a shotgun shooting a clay pigeon. You know how it like blasts apart that clay target in the sky. But it's like, imagine if you had one of those on top of your solar plexus chakra, and it's like this lightning bolt comes along and breaks that seal open. And it's like, that's what really starts to give that energy to you. And that might be also why if you're attracting, I'll say, lower energies, when you ignite that heart fire, that purpose in yourself, you're going to get a lot of haters, a lot of attention. And with the help of this mentor who's dealt with that already, he's walked through the flames, he already knows. He can guide you on how to transmute any negative energy that tries to come after you. You could also learn about protection and defense magic, and that could help you prevent further heartbreak or shock or surprise, because you'll have empowered yourself to, again, draw these firm boundaries about what energy is you let in or not. Because the brighter you shine your light, the more attention you're going to attract. That's the nature of Leo too. They attract attention. All right, so I'm going to get some messages here from the Mystical Wisdom Oracle. What is it that Aquarius needs to hear about November? Resilience, rise above tribulations. Yeah. So there's a huge transformation. Again, November is the season of Scorpio in tropical astrology. So there's a huge phoenix rising from the ashes. The phoenix is one of the 3 stages of Scorpio. It's the snake, the scorpion, and the eagle, or the phoenix. So that's the final stage of evolution. I mentioned this alchemical process taking place, perhaps with the guidance of an elder or one of your spirit guides or an actual mentor in the 3D. But there's a transmutation happening here. I'll read about this for you. This card encourages you to endure and withstand stress and recover quickly from life changes, misdeeds, or a bad ordeal. This is also about facing life's adversities with courage and patience in such a way that you come through it unscathed, better and stronger for the experience. It also means the recovery from an illness or being rejected by a loved one. This takes compassion, determination, and strength that will not be defeated. The resilience of the human spirit and the validity of love inhabits us to rise above our tribulations and fly again. Accept your reality in a positive light and make it good. The mantra is, I have the strength to quickly rise above my problems. So they did, mention the sun rising again, and maybe that's why the sun stood out to me in these clouds here. The sun will come out tomorrow. There'll be a brighter day. But the strength card they mentioned a couple times, and I did mention the solar plexus chakra. There may be some, you have some placements in Leo. It's your opposite across the wheel here on the zodiac. So, but it's that creativity, that fire, that passion that makes me think of the strength card in the Leo, because it was mentioned here in resilience. But that is also ruled by the sun and the solar plexus. So you really have to trust your own energy this month to see you through. And what else? Let's look at your angels and ancestors here, because I got this image when I'm looking in this card with the 8 of Wands. It's like your guides. These are spirit guides. They're looking out for you, and they're like telling you to get on this bus, I swear. But so since they seem to be hanging out, let's see, there's 3 of them. Let's get 3 cards for our Aquarian friends. Okay. All right. First off, we have the snake shed old skin. All right. Well, it's funny, I put it in front of this card anyway, but I was looking at this. I mentioned, like, a lot of people have a phobia of snakes. So I was talking about confronting your fears. This is going deep down into the psyche, finding out what you're truly afraid of and confronting it. But, and I spoke of the Scorpio being the transformation season. The snakes have to shed their old skin in order to grow, in order to move on to the next phase. they've gotten too big for their skin suit, so it's time to move on to the next one. All right, and then we have Elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. I did mention contracts. That made me think of Saturn, Chronos, Father Time. And then Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action, like the praying mantis. All right, so shedding old skin, moving beyond ancestral patterns. I think of karmic patterns. I think of people being trapped in a cycle of self-destruction, or and this is like you shedding that old identity, or you're not that person anymore. There's this two of flames shifting onto a different path, ascending to a higher path, as I saw in this card in the Seven of Wands, how she's up above the ridge. It's breaking free of that, because it's like you finally learned your lesson. And part of the reason I think this Three of Swords showed up twice, it's like you're breaking your own heart too. Like with the lightning striking that solar plexus, it could be a shock to the system to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been stuck in this pattern for so long, this belief system for so long. You know, why did I ever feed that, monkey or monster or whatever you want to call it? And so the heartbreak is partially for yourself. Like if there was lost time, or, I wasted so many years doing things this way when I should have been doing them that way. So it's partly forgiving yourself. These two cats. I love this Three of Swords though. Like they're like comforting him. They're like, it's okay, buddy. You just staple the wound up in your head and you'll be all right. Get back out there. These are Leo too, the lion, the strength card showing up. So there's an ability to get beyond this. It's just you also have to forgive the old version of yourself that allowed that behavior in the past, that allowed you to be used in that system or in that contract, or you're repeating that behavior and over again. It's just you just didn't get it on a soul level, but it's almost like lightning when it hits you. You're like, wow, I can't believe I used to think this way. All right, so it's almost like you're transforming then from these old patterns into this Shaolin Master, this kind of having peace with yourself. I'm gonna look under this deck too. Broken Arrow, and embrace the energy of peace. So yeah, it's like these old frustrating patterns that were wearing you out and putting you in a tough spot. And now this is just like taking a breath. Like I get meditation, breathing, Tai Chi, yoga, some kind of gentle yin, feminine martial art can really kind of help release and bring back into to balance out this whatever pain that you had experienced. All right, so the Shaolin Master, I'm going to read about him. Slow and steady, breathe and flow. Take a gentler approach. The Shaolin Master calls forth the ninja within. Shaolin medicine is about learning to adapt to a situation and to tap into the energy running through your body and preserve it in order to release it at the right moment. It also teaches subtlety, because when you are too forceful, you use too much energy, and that may not be supportive of what you are working on. The Shaolin Master, like a monk, has respect for all things. He is disciplined and guided by his art and will never use it to impress the foolish or to appear stronger than someone who is threatening him. You too are being invited to remain graceful in your movement, choices, and actions. You are being guided to flow like water, blow like air, and connect with your purest intentions. Don't feel you need to rush ahead. A gentler approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Reach high, but also ask yourself how you can move with the flow of life rather than pushing against it. Do you have the capacity to refocus your gaze at this time? Can you slow down or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward? All of this will be incredibly beneficial for what happens next. All right, so shifting into maybe a place from overdoing to relaxing, waiting to receive, as opposed to, all the fire cards that showed up in your reading were like action, action, action. And this is now, there's going to be a period of inaction coming, of peace and relaxation, feeling like you can breathe again, getting you out of perhaps a difficult situation. And we're going to look at animal medicine, and then I'll do an archetype card. And I think that'll about do it for this reading. Animal medicine for Aquarius. Turtle, number 10. All right. Okay, Mother Earth. In Native American teachings, turtle is the oldest symbol of planet Earth. It's a personification of goddess energy and of the eternal mother from which our lives evolve. We are born of the womb of Earth, and to her soil our bodies will return. In honoring the Earth, we are asked by Turtle to be mindful of the cycle of give and take, to give back to the Mother as she has given to us. Turtle has a shell which is similar to the protection that Earth has employed for centuries as her body has been defiled. Mother Earth's protection has come in the form of earth changes, new plant growth, the creation of new land masses by volcanoes, and climate alterations. Like Turtle, you also have shields that protect you from hurt, envy, jealousy, and the unconsciousness of others. Turtle teaches you, though its habit patterns, how to use protection. If you are bothered by the actions or words of others, it is time to go out inside yourself and honor your feelings. If you are attacked, it is time to give a warning snap. If you have chosen the turtle symbol, you are being asked to honor the creative source within you, to be grounded to the earth, and to observe your situation with motherly compassion. Use the water and earth energies, which represent Turtle's two homes, to flow harmoniously with the situation and to place your feet firmly on the ground in a power stance. Turtle is a fine teacher of the art of grounding. You may even be able to overcome some of your space cadet tendencies if you align with turtle medicine. In learning to ground, you are placing focus on your thoughts and actions and slowing to a pace that assures completion. Turtle warns of the dangers of pushing the river, as evidenced by the plodding pace it keeps. The corn that is harvested before its time is not yet full. However, if it is given the chance to develop at its own rate, in its own season, its sweetness will be shared by all. Turtle brings its thoughts, like its eggs, in the sands and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. This teaches you to develop your ideas before bringing them out into the light. Look at the old fable of the tortoise and the hare and decide for yourself whether or not you would like to align with Turtle. Bigger, stronger, and faster are not always the best ways to get to a goal. When you arrive, you may be asked where you've been, and you may not be able to remember. In that case, arriving prematurely can make you feel very immature. If you draw the turtle card, it augurs a time of connecting with the power of Earth and the Mother Goddess within. This is a reminder to the ally you have in Mother Earth. It does not matter what situation you have created. Ask her for assistance, and abundance will follow. Okay, so I will mention that in tropical astrology that this full moon lunar eclipse on the 8th will take place in Taurus, which is a feminine earth energy. So again, you could use that energy to connect with this turtle medicine, going with the flow, also while putting up boundaries. As I mentioned before, you might attract attention when you depart from this situation and embark on your own, embarking on your true purpose. So finally, we'll get an archetype card and wrap this reading up. Which archetype will Aquarius align with this month? We have the Desert 37. All right, the drought, the wasteland, the badlands. The desert leaves us disoriented, desperate for direction, grasping for meaning, longing for solid ground. For endless miles, we are confronted with a lack of clarity and existential dread. We are thirsty, hungry, pleading with life to get back to normal, to become animated by the simple pleasantries of day-to-day life. The desert offers no such comfort, and all must pass through it. If you can embrace the discomfort of the desert, knowing you will, someday, reach water again, you can tap into the potent energy of the landscape. Its lights are blinding brightly, and its darks terrifyingly deep, which makes it for unbridled creativity and clairvoyant visions. Truths reside in the desert that otherwise remain hidden. The crows, the shadows, and the coyotes' call surround you. Let the winds and sands work their deep magic, weary traveler. Surreal, strange, unexpected visions and silence. When in the throes of the desert, contemplate the following. You are not alone. You have more supplies with you than you think. Water is very near. The desert is alive and pulsing with energy despite its desolate appearance. Turn toward it rather than away from it. So I feel like the desert is a result of that Three of Swords feeling that showed up twice in this reading. So if you feel like you're wandering aimlessly in the desert and on the verge of death, know that water is near. That relief to put out the pain of the fire is close by. but that all it tends to depends on how you handle it, and with peace and grace and the Shaolin master going with the flow, acceptance of the change rather than fighting the change, as the turtle said, don't fight the current. There's a better place for you to establish your home. Turtle travels with its home on its back. He's very versatile. He can live on land and water. So there's more options. Don't get caught up in a dead end, or thinking that there's only one conclusion to this story, because there's not. Um, okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this reading, Aquarius. Let me know if it resonated for you down below, and hopefully we'll see you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.